triggered me, things that maybe triggered me from my childhood or things that kind of left trauma on me will start to come up. And at first, I thought that was a bad thing, and it kind of discouraged me from meditation because I was like, why are all these bad old memories regressing again when I meditate? But this is actually a good sign because it's your body showing you what triggers you still have and what subconscious beliefs are still limiting you, right? So whenever you meditate and you maybe get an experience like that, I would recommend writing it down and then start writing down how you can reprogram that belief in your mind. So one time I got a thought about me getting bullied as a kid, right? When I was going to school in India, a group of girls would always make fun of me and they would be like, Srija can never have any friends because she's too ugly or she's too weird or whatever. That left a really big impact on me as a child. Now, obviously, when I moved to America and, everything changed, I didn't really think about that. But a part of me never really attracted good friends or, a lot of friends. And I subconsciously held myself back from it because when I was a child, I was told that I was not good enough to have friends by these people who I wanted to be friends with, right? So that left a really big imprint on my brain without realizing it. So when I started meditating more seriously, one day this came up in my meditation and I actually started crying. And after I experienced this, I took some time to journal about it and realized that I still have a limiting belief about myself. So I took that time to focus on self-love, building up my self-concept, and then I was able to clear that block, and now I have such good, healthy friends in my life, right? But if I hadn't, remembered that that left such a big impact on me, I never would have gotten over that block, even if I kept telling myself that, I want good friends, whatever. So I hope that made sense. That's just one example of how our subconscious thoughts can really limit us from achieving our, dream reality. Another example, and I think this is more common, is I was actually trying to lose some weight last year. And this was, I just wanted to lose weight. And I'm sure that's a common thing a lot of people want to do. And I kept, trying all these diets and exercising a lot in the gym, but I never really saw myself getting to that kind of place to lose weight. And I realized that I grew up with the belief that some genetics just run in my family that will make me gain a lot of weight, or, certain people in my family, it's like easy to gain weight in this family, whatever. I grew up with a lot of those kind of limiting beliefs. And again, not to fault anyone for giving me these beliefs, these are passed down from generation to generation. So obviously, people are just going to grow up with the same belief systems. But I'm sure you guys have heard that a lot too, where it's like some things are just passed down or some diseases are just passed down. Whatever, that all stays in our brain and manifests within ourself because that's what's building our self-concept, right? With all these subconscious beliefs. So that's what I had believed, and I had to really work on changing my belief pattern and work on realizing that genetics don't have to affect me. I can choose how I want my body to be. And one book that's really helped me kind of learn about my subconscious beliefs, I'm actually reading it right now. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. So I'm sure all of you have heard about the amazing Joe Dispenza, but Joe Dispenza was actually this man who got into a tragic accident, right? So he was hit by a motorcycle during a triathlon. He fractured his spine. There was multiple fractures. He was actually put on bed rest, and the doctors told him that he would probably never stand up again, and he would also definitely never be an athlete again. But he decided that that's not going to be the reality that he chooses, right? So every single day he worked on rewiring his thought patterns and visualizing. And what do you know? Literally within 10 weeks, he was walking out of the hospital, no surgery, no paralysis, nothing. And I think within like 11 or 12 weeks, he was doing a triathlon again. I mean, that's just so crazy, right? Like someone just healed themselves when the doctors told him he could never do that. He really worked on his subconscious beliefs, and that's what, excuse me, he really talks about in his book, that working on your subconscious beliefs is super important. So instead of just, saying affirmations or visualizing, which are very important tools, I would say that working on your subconscious beliefs is even more important. And I also want to kind of break a myth on manifesting that I think a lot of people don't fully grasp, and I personally didn't fully grasp, is that you can never have negative thoughts if you want to manifest something. I always have negative thoughts, to be honest with you. I'm always, you know, thinking about negative things. They all automatically come to my brain. And in the beginning, I was really hung up on all the thoughts that I had. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to manifest something if I'm not happy all the time or I'm not grateful all the time. Like I didn't let myself experience bad days because I thought that would get in the way of the reality I was trying to manifest. However, like I said, your self-concept and self-concept is defined as what you think about yourself and what you choose to identify with. That's what's going to determine your manifestation, right? So if my self-concept is that, oh, I'm just like a loser, or I'm just someone who's never gonna be rich, or like I'm just someone that is poor, those are like the strong subconscious beliefs that end up manifesting in your reality. However, if your self-concept is strong, right? Like no matter what, I'm someone that attracts money, or no matter what is happening, whatever is meant for me will always happen, or whatever happens is good for me, even if it feels bad in the moment, right? Like if those identities are strongly ingrained within you, then it doesn't matter if sometimes you have bad days or negative thoughts, because thoughts are just thoughts, right? They don't actually identify with who you are. But the minute you decide what identifies with you, that's what's going to show up in your reality. So I still have like really stressful days sometimes at work. I just moved, and like I just started this whole new chapter in my life, and that comes with a lot of overwhelm for me and sometimes a lot of negative thoughts. But my identity is so strong that whatever happens for me is a good thing, and whatever happens for me is making me go towards my dream life. That these thoughts don't affect what I manifest in my life, you know? And that's the power of the subconscious mind. Like all these conscious thoughts can come and go in your brain, and they don't always have to be positive because we're all human, we can't expect to 100% of the time like think all these happy, joyful thoughts. Sometimes things will happen, but the subconscious, like below the iceberg, that's so strong, and that's what matters during your manifestations. Like even Joe Dispenza, for example, every single day he would have negative thoughts. He would be scared because of his body and his condition, but he worked on his identity and his beliefs that he would be cured without anything. Like he is someone that doesn't need external treatment to be cured. He chose to be in the identity of self-curing, and that's what got him to where he is today. So, whenever you are manifesting or thinking about changing your life, I would suggest you look within yourself. How do you talk about yourself? How do you think thoughts about yourself, right? When nobody else is around and you are with yourself, what kind of thoughts come up? Or when you look in the mirror every morning, what do you tell yourself, right? I am guilty of looking at myself in the mirror and being like, oh my God, my face is so ugly. I look so fat, whatever, whatever. And it's okay, it's human. But I really started to change how I view myself in the mirror. And I think that is a great place to start. And I recommend doing that and working on every time negative things happen, how do you talk to yourself, right? Every time maybe you don't do the best at something or you mess up. How do you treat yourself? Like, do you still love yourself the same as when things are going well? That all that stuff will define your self-concept and your identity. And the stronger your self-concept is, the stronger you start to manifest and the stronger you start to bring good things into your life. So yeah, I hope that made sense on subconscious beliefs. Another thing you can do, obviously, is affirmations. They have so much power, but in order to really drill it into your subconscious brain, you have to keep repeating it over and over and over again, right? So there's this practice called robotic affirmations where you literally spend an hour repeating the same thing over and over and over again to your brain. And what that does is it slowly starts to seep into your subconscious brain because repetition is key, right? So if you have maybe a negative subconscious belief, you need to reverse that by overdoing the positives and repeating it so much that it replaces the negative belief you have in yourself. So maybe if you're commuting to work or school, or if you're cooking or something, just over and over again, repeating an affirmation of your choice. That is something that I know I've seen that works on my friends and other people. So, yeah. This is also another good visual from the presentation. So 95% of your behaviors are subconscious, right? Like we talked about. Another thing I want to emphasize is the power of your nervous system. So your nervous system is what is activated and deactivated when you're stressed. So there's two types of nervous systems. There's sympathetic and parasympathetic. I'm not going to get too sciencey, but basically, sympathetic is when you are like stressed or you're like going, like go, 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 like working hard, your body's active. And parasympathetic is when your body is relaxed and it's at like a relaxed state. Now, it is good to have a balance of both, but something I want you guys to maybe notice is when you're at rest, how are you feeling, right? I noticed that even when I finish work, I finish all my tasks for the day, I'm just sitting down, my body's still in this stressed state, right? Like it's still feeling uneasy. If I feel like I have to do something or accomplish something, that means my nervous system is not relaxed and it's not regulated. And again, that's where meditation will help a lot. Just relax your nervous system. And if your nervous system is not relaxed, it's going to be hard for your subconscious mind to be activated and changed because your body is trying to survive, it's trying to fight, and it's not ready to maybe change or be shaped in a positive way. So, really focus on relaxing your body. And that's why in meditation, we first start with, really relaxing our shoulders and our legs and our face. It's so important that you practice being relaxed and regulated, even when you're not, you know, like going all the time. And so that's something I've also noticed, especially living in New York. I feel like everyone is so go, go, go all the time, but that's not good for our nervous systems, right? We need a balance. And that also heavily affects our subconscious programming. So I will go into a few like common blocks that people may have. So the first one is money, right? So maybe if your family or you see people at school grow up with less resources or things that they couldn't buy because they need to save or whatever, that could easily put you in a lack mindset that there is not enough money in the world and success requires you to work hard. And I know that I was always taught being Indian, that hard work gets you to success. And I think, that is great. Like hard work does get you to success. But it also puts you in this limiting belief that you can only get money if you work really, really hard, right? So now with new programming, I can tell myself abundance flows naturally to me. I can be in a relaxed state of mind. I don't need to stress my body out to death for me to earn money, right? Like there is so much money in this world, and I can attract it by being exactly as I am, because I'm abundant and money is abundant. So you see how slowly you start to reprogram yourself and receive more positive outcomes. This is another one I was talking about. If you've had people leave you or tell you that you're not good enough or whatever, you can have those patterns and the self-concept that maybe you don't deserve the type of love that you want. So the new programming would be, I love myself, so I will get the love that I deserve, or, I'm worthy of stable love. Another one is self-worth. I think self-worth is like the spine of like spirituality and self-development. If your self-worth is strong, everything else will be so strong. Like your manifestation practices will be strong, your self-development will be strong. It all starts with self-love and self-worth. So this is a great place to start if you're trying to change anything in your life. If you're trying to make more money, you're trying to make more friends. It all starts with self-love. You need to believe that you are worthy of all the good things in the world. Maybe you've made mistakes in the past. Maybe you've done things wrong. I definitely have. I'm sure everybody here has made mistakes. It is so natural, but that is something that can quickly diminish our self-worth. So that is something we need to always make sure that is strong in ourselves. And once you do that, I promise you everything else will come to you so, so easily. Lastly, health and energy is also a big one. I have noticed people really talking about the role of genetics, and maybe when they see people around them, they're like, oh, like that's gonna happen to me too. That is you manifesting bad health for yourself. Joe Dispenza has proved that you can turn your body around. I really encourage everyone to read his books because there are so many studies that he does where cancer patients, tumor patients, people that are blind start to see again, people that are on wheelchairs start to walk again. All of these people who have these impossible illnesses cure themselves with their mind without any external treatments. And that just proves that your subconscious mind is so powerful. And especially if maybe you have family that struggle with something, you're older in age, or you have previous patterns of something, really work on reframing the way you think about your body and you think about your health. Especially if you meditate, you're getting all this positive energy within your body, and that's going to improve your health. But you have to believe that it's going to in order for it to actually happen, you know? So I will stop there. Those are the main things that I would say are part of your subconscious mind. Just remember that you can have all these conscious thoughts, but if you're not working on how you feel about yourself and all of these limiting beliefs that you have, it's going to be so much harder for your manifestation to come to life. And it's okay, like it's a process. I'm still really working on my self-concept. I think there's so many things, but that's what we're all here for. It's a journey. I think it will always be a journey throughout your life, but the more you improve, the better it will be for you. And I really encourage reading one of Joe Dispenza's books because he's simply amazing. I've learned so much from just his readings. One day I hope I can go to one of his retreats, but yeah, that is everything that I had. Thank you so much for listening. I hope everything made sense. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Mhm. Hello, Srija.
Hi.
I um I have a question.
Yeah.
You said about affirmations and manifestations.
Hmm.
You need to say you have to think or write about that already have received, or you want like anything.
Yeah.
Are they done, or you have to ask for it, or you feel like you have how to write the manifestation. Suppose I want to receive suppose $100. I
Hmm.
have to say thank you, $100 already received, or I want to get $100. That's what I was simple.
Yeah, great question. I would definitely like you already received it, right? Because you want once you feel the emotion of getting it, then you'll get it, right? So how do you get
Mm.
that? You act like you already got it. So maybe
So
write down thank you for the $100 and then be so happy that you got it. Like how would
okay.
you feel if you found $100? You'd be so happy, right? So
Mm.
practicing that emotion and then like pretending like you already got it.
So should not ask want. Already done. Okay.
Yeah, you already have it. You
Mm.
wouldn't want it because you already have it. And you're already super grateful that you have it. So that's what I would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even about health also, we are already. I'm perfect. All right. I have to think like that.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like just, you're
Okay.
already perfect. Everything you want, you already have. And
Mm.
the more you can practice feeling healthy, already happy, then you will automatically become healthy and happy.
Okay. This one more question. Just this manifestations and affirmations only for ourselves or for somebody also. I can ask for something like.
I think it's only for yourself, right? Because it's all about reprogramming your own mind, right? Like I can't reprogram somebody else's mind because I don't know their thoughts and their limiting beliefs. So it's all about reprogramming our own minds and then teaching others how to do the same for themselves.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Okay, well, no question, no other questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining and listening. And I hope you continue to meditate and manifest. And I will see you next week for the next session. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, good night. Have a
Bye.
good night, everyone. Thanks.